500 plus years ago in England, where's England? There's England. Henry VIII, the King of England, had an issue with the Pope in Rome because Henry VIII wanted a male son and his wives weren't giving him male sons, even though we know now that the man is the one who determines the sex of the child. That's neither here nor there. At any rate, Henry VIII broke away from the Pope of Rome, so the church in England, which had been there for millennia, now became the Church of England. Of course, we know how England colonized parts of the world over here, and of course we know that this became the American colonies. Well, we know what happened in the 18th century. We had a Revolutionary War between the United States of America, which would become the United States of America, and Great Britain. The problem was we had Church of England churches in the colonies that were at war with the mother church in England. And what do you do when you have two bodies that are at war with each other, but yet the same church is in them? So after the war was over, in the late 18th century, we had the Episcopal Church developed in the United States. And over time, relations warmed with the mother church in England, and that became the birth of the Anglican Communion. And so it came to pass when all of the colonies of Great Britain gained their independence, so did the churches in those colonies become independent as well. So the Church of England and the American colonies became the Episcopal Church in the United States of America. And every 10 years, all of the bishops in all of the 38 provinces come together to England, to Canterbury, for Lambeth Conference every 10 years. And the next Lambeth Conference is next year, 2008. Well, a lot's happened in the Anglican Communion in the past few decades, certainly in the past 6 years even. We know in 2003, the General Convention of the Episcopal Church in America elected and consecrated an openly gay bishop for the Diocese of New Hampshire, which really sent a lot of shockwaves throughout the Communion, for there were many and throughout the Anglican Communion who did not view this as compatible with Christian teaching or with Scripture by having the election of a gay bishop. So we had in Ireland, we had the commission called the Windsor Commission come together to create a report on how the Anglican Communion could live together despite differences, how we could still be one family. And in 2006, General Convention of the Episcopal Church in the U.S. got together, as they always do every 3 years, to discuss the recommendations and to make resolutions based on them. And some would say they were sufficient, some would say they were not sufficient. But one of the major things that happened in General Convention 2006 was that Presiding Bishop Frank Griswold went out of office, and into office became Presiding Bishop Catherine Jefferts Schori, which again sent many of the archbishops in the Anglican Communion spinning. Many will say it's because of her liberal views, but to be honest, I think it's because she is a female, and some folks just aren't ready for that yet. So recently, all the primates got together in Tanzania to discuss the state of the Episcopal Church and other matters that are bearing down on our dear church. And they made several recommendations through the primates communique, most of which consisted of the American Church agreeing not to bless same-sex unions and to consecrate bishops who were in same-sex relationships. So what does this mean for the Episcopal Church in the Anglican Communion? Well, we don't know yet. It's too early to tell. But from what I've been reading from many of the bishops so far, is that the vote that happens before September 30th will not be unanimous. Now, for me, for my take, I'm Catholic in theology. And I want all of us, all the churches, to come together to be one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church. And it pains me to see churches breaking apart, to see churches warring with their diocese, warring with their national church, warring with the global communion. It pains me to see the Episcopal Church at odds with the Roman Catholic Church and with the Orthodox Church and with all the other Protestant churches. I do pray that we can come together and find a solution and be faithful to our tradition, be faithful to Scripture, and be faithful to our call to be the one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church.